We are live.
All right, welcome everyone. Today is Monday, May 22nd. It is 7 p.m. in our full council meeting. Would you stand as you are able to get us started with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Mr. Hurth, would you get us started with the roll call, please?
Sure, Ms. Cheney.
Here.
Mr. Fisher.
Here.
Mr. Knapp.
Here.
Mr. Marks.
Here.
Ms. Snyder.
Here.
Mr. Van Harn is here yet?
My understanding, Mr. Van Horn reached out to me. He's traveling, was getting back into town today. He expressed his intention to be here this evening. Is there a motion to excuse?
Motion to excuse.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that was Marks and Fisher. Got it. I presume everyone has had an opportunity to look at the agenda. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda or amend it as
Motion to
needed?
accept.
Second.
Do we want to amend the dates for that?
Amend the dates for what?
Yeah, the next council meeting is scheduled for the 19th.
We haven't voted on that yet.
We'll
We voted on.
Do that when we get to
Yeah,
the
okay,
announcements.
We have to move the meeting to the 19th.
And we want to move the speaker to
We scheduled the
Right.
meeting for Juneteenth.
There's a motion to move so we have a registered speaker who was informed that we'd be starting at 7. We are starting 10 minutes earlier today. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda so that we may have the registered speaker?
Motion to amend.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we have minutes to be approved from our meeting on the 8th of this month. Is there anything that needs to be changed in those minutes? They look good. Is there a motion to accept the minutes?
Motion to accept.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I see that we have Chief Meter on the agenda, but
Actually, he's not. He's
wouldn't
not
be there.
coming on the second meeting.
right. There's that. All right, jump into my report. So I was honored to be able to say a few words at the Soapbox Derby yesterday. That's been held in Gulf Manor for the past 12 years. Got the opportunity to thank and honor all the organizers and volunteers that are involved in making that event occur. A wonderful event. I want to thank the Gulf Manor Police Department that had a presence there, as well as Deer Park Silverton Fire District that was also able to be there in case there were any injuries. I had the further honor of being able to, during the trial runs, be able to stand up there and actually pull the lever to allow everyone to go, and that was a lot of fun. So I just want to thank them again for their commitment to being here in the village every year.
And Steve organized that.
Steve Simile
Yes.
organized making sure that they're here. Have you been doing it all 12 years?
Well, there's definitely a help along the way, but I think I'm the only one that's consistently been the primary point person.
I was not aware of that. We
Yes.
should honor you for that officially.
And Ashley got
Just think
Mark's
it's a-
bagels here. So
Fantastic. I
Great
didn't,
event.
what time did they get there at? Because they were not there when I was there.
They're there at 10.
They're there at 10. Okay, well, I
And
see.
so one.
I see.
And there was only one wreck this year.
Well, that's no fun.
It was minor. It was minor.
I just say it was mine.
Nobody went down the hill into the lake.
Ms. Snyder, thank you for your contributions, and Mr. Simile, thank you.
In it for the bagels.
Yeah. Also want to recognize that it's the 2-year anniversary of our breaking ground for the Little Free Libraries here in Gulf Manor. That is celebrated annually on a national level, not our particular joining, but of course, the Little Free Libraries. We have our ordinance that we passed 2 years ago said that we have 12 slots available. It is open to increasing those if council were to desire to do that. My understanding is that we still have a couple slots open. So this is my opportunity on behalf of council and the village to tell people in the village, if you want to have a little free library, there's still some slots available for that. And the application process involves just basically reaching out to administration and they can help you with the paperwork. That's for that. Let's see, the Mayor's Tree Program application. I've been getting a lot of responses to that. I want to give the council members a hard copy version of that. I know you can print that out on your own, but just so that you have one on your person, I'm going to be passing those around because that's a good way. I've been doing that and been getting a lot of immediate feedback from folks. So I just give them a hard copy of the application. So with that in mind, I have a number here that. So, where are they at here? Here they are. Go that way. And it is National Peace Officers Memorial Day last week, actually, and I have a proclamation for that. So proclamation number 2023-5 honoring National Peace Officers Memorial Day. Whereas National Peace Officers Memorial Day honors the service and sacrifice of those peace officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our local communities. And whereas the Village of Gulf Manor stands in solidarity with its neighboring communities, mourning the loss of peace officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice, being killed protecting others. And whereas more than 20,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made this ultimate sacrifice. And whereas Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost officially inducted 8 peace officers lost in recent years to be honored at the Ohio Peace Officers Memorial Ceremony this month, including Deputy Daniel J. Kinn, the Wyandotte County Sheriff's Office, end of watch December 15th, 2022. Deputy Matthew E. Yates, Clark County Sheriff's Office, end of watch July 24th, 2022. Officer Dominic M. Francis of Bluffton Police Department, end of watch March 31st, 2022. John D. Stayrook, Medina County Drug Task Force, end of watch February 6th, 2022. Patrolman Sean E. Vanderberg, the Lawrence Township Police Department, end of watch December 25th, 2021. Deputy Robert C. Mills, Butler County Sheriff's Office, end of watch June 2019. Officer Edward L. Stewart, Akron Police Department, end of watch February 12th, 2021. Officer Kenneth C. Jones, Akron Police Department, end of watch November 7th, 2020. Whereas President Kennedy in the United States Congress designated that May 15th be Peace Officers Memorial Day, and that the U.S. flag be flown at half-staff on that date each year. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Densmore of the Village of Gulf Manor, do hereby publicly recognize and respect the daily toll on families and intimate friends of active duty peace officers, and salute the courageous and selfless service of peace officers in our community and the communities across the nation. And ask if there will be a vote to affirm by our council. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All
So
those-
who's the motion?
Mr. Kenneth,
Kenneth and Marks, got it.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And that is the end of my report, and I believe that our speaker, registered speaker, is here. Is that correct? Hey, Charlotte,
And
would you like to
President
come forward?
Troublemaker.
Which one?
I'm here to support.
If you could state your name and address, please.
Absolutely. Charlotte Brewer, 6122 Mayflower Avenue.
Thank you, Charlotte. We started about 10 minutes early. I apologize if
Gotcha, no
that was
worries.
disconcerting as you came in.
No worries.
But please go ahead
All
and
right.
address the council.
Okay. Mayor Densmore, council members and fellow residents of Gulf Manor. My name is Charlotte Brewer, and I'm here to speak to you today to request support from the village for residents to participate in Cincinnati's Pride Parade on June 24th, 2023. While my request before you today may seem lighthearted, a participation in a parade, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that it is a very scary time to be a part of the LGBTQIA+ community. There is legislation being passed every week that puts more and more restrictions on our freedom of expression, and people are losing their livelihoods and lives just for being who they are. According to the Human Rights Commission Weekly Roundup of anti-LGBTQ+ legislation advancing in states across the country, press release dated May 16th, 2023, their year-to-date snapshot of 2023 anti-LGBTQ+ state legislative activity summarizes the following. Over 520 anti-LGBTQ+ bills have been introduced in state legislatures, a record. Over 220 bills specifically target transgender and non-binary people, also a record. And a record 50 anti-LGBTQ laws have been enacted so far this year, including laws banning gender-affirming care for transgender youth, 14. Laws allowing or even requiring misgendering of transgender students, 5. Laws targeting drag performances, 2. Laws creating a license to discriminate, 3. Laws censoring school curriculum, including books, 4. In Ohio, Senate Bill 83 passed last Wednesday and is being sent to the House of Representatives as companion House Bill 151. Known as the Ohio Higher Education Enhancement Act, if Governor DeWine signs it into law, it will impact a number of areas, including university mission statements, DEI policies and programs, policies related to intellectual diversity and controversial beliefs, and it also targets First Amendment rights of students and employees through syllabus, curriculum, and organizing requirements. As a member of the UC-FSA, as an employee, there has been discussion in our previous meeting about if this passes, will we even be allowed to exist? This is in addition to Ohio Senate Bill 6, a partisan bill introduced in February 2023 that would ban gender-affirming care for transgender youth. It is currently working its way through the Higher Education Committee. This is why we march. This is why Pride matters. This is not just a parade. With the adoption of Gulf Manor's non-discrimination ordinance in November 2020, the village pledged its support for people living, working, and visiting businesses in the village. Chapter 559.01, sections C through G establish the framework for a Gulf Manor Human Rights Commission. I call upon council for the following. That there be an announcement on the Gulf Manor website with contact information for residents to solicit participation in the Cincinnati Pride Parade so that we can march for our rights as a community. While there is not a formal request for funding for Gulf Manor residents to represent the village in the Cincinnati Pride Parade, I would like to leave that door open with a line of communication established with the village administration so that it can be addressed as the need arises. Next, that there is transparency about the formation of and the work being done in the Gulf Manor Human Rights Commission, namely that previous meeting minutes be published on the village website, that the meeting schedule be posted for residents to be able to attend, that upcoming meeting minutes are published on the website as they occur, and to appoint the 5th member to the commission to fulfill the requirements outlined in Chapter 559.01, Section D.1. And then finally, that Village Council provide regular updates at meetings about complaints, conciliation agreements, hearings, and findings and orders that occur as a result of the non-discrimination ordinance, and at minimum, a summary be made available on the Gulf Manor website. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Thanks.
Charlotte, before, I want to make sure that I've got the list of your requests. So previous meeting minutes be put on the website. So
And we do that.
We do that. Okay. Where are those found? Under
They're in the council minutes.
in the council minute, like attached to council minutes,
Or
or in the
there
drop
would be a
down?
specific.
All right.
Under government. It was not easily findable,
I-
I will say.
Yeah, one of the things actually that I was going to bring up to council, it came up in discussion with some community engagement folks, was that when we print our minutes, that there be a link to the video of not just the videos in general, but the video to the specific meeting as well. At least going forward with that. And then to the extent that we can catch up in doing that with past ones, to do that as well, to make it easier for folks to be able to see a full meeting if when they're looking at the minutes. I'll certainly work with the administration and give you an update at our next council meeting about how we might make the minutes more user-friendly to find And if anybody has any ideas on that, to let us know, let me
Are we
know.
talking about
I
the
can-
minutes of the council meetings or minutes of the
Like
rights?
No.
Human Rights Commission.
Yeah, she's talking about.
So the
the
Human
We
Rights
actually had a meeting of the Human Rights Commission.
Correct.
Okay, when,
There's been one,
okay.
when it organized. It has not convened since because we've had no complaints.
So if you guys heard, what I'm requesting is that I'm willing to work with the administration to make sure finding minutes in general, as well as those, are more user-friendly for folks. We need input on that. If you have ideas, anybody has ideas on that, let us know, and I'll report back next week on what ideas have been submitted and what we're doing to try to make those user-friendly. Because that's not the first time people have said it's been hard to find minutes and stuff, and
Yeah,
I
even
get
on the
that.
website, it has like, here are the committees, and then there's really no other links that direct you to specific minutes or anything like that. Or at least specifically not for the HRC, which is what I was looking for.
Right, gotcha. Your second item, having the schedule posted when they're meeting. I know that we, was it on a bi-weekly basis? There's an update on the banner that says when the different committees are meeting and council meeting, but I understand you to say, well, when's the next one? Not like if it's 2 weeks away, but when's the next one gonna be? Now, I know that we have, do they only meet when there's a complaint? Is that correct?
So there's,
Yes.
we're trying to get an annual meeting together. It's a content issue. I'm trying to get this thing to switch. That's weird. Needs to be connected to the network.
If they only meet, if they only meet when there's a complaint,
Yeah.
that'd be hard to give an update a month ahead of time, right? Because I believe that when there is a complaint, what's the turnaround time for when there's a meeting?
I would have to read the ordinance. So if you, when you go to our website, which we're there's the master slider at the top. Main things that are happening are here. So if you click Make Council Meetings, that takes you to the council packet. And this is all the public information that council uses to make decisions. If you go to the bar here under government, there's a whole section on council minutes. Those are arranged by year. When you click on the minutes, by date, everything's listed there. So the Human Rights Commission is a meeting of council, essentially. So when there is one, it'll be listed by the date there.
Okay.
So that's in the,
When was the one meeting?
would have been in 2022 was their inaugural meeting. And
There's 3-1, March 1st.
do you see it?
Yeah, March 1st.
Yeah,
Oh, there it
right
is.
there.
And then,
Do you remember what the turnaround time was when, in terms of scheduling that inaugural meeting? Was it based on a complaint or was it just based on
It
this
was-
is the inaugural
it was-
meeting
it
and
was
we're
the
appointing
inaugural
members?
meeting.
Yeah.
And then if there is a meeting of the commission, it'll show in the master slider here. So it'll be posted as like we do planning commission or special council meetings or anything like that.
I don't remember the turnaround time, but I do recall it being timely because the potential fines were, by the day, so.
The appointment of the fifth member, can you give us intel on is that, hopefully that's not on me, is that how, what's?
It actually is.
Is it? That's good to know, right?
You are.
So how does, review for everyone, how those seats are populated, who appoints those seats? 'Cause
So.
the mayor doesn't appoint all the seats.
That's correct. So, well, you don't necessarily appoint that fifth person. So we have the ability to have a content expert. So we don't have that in the commission currently,
Alright.
but the people who were appointed to the commission are rotating
Right.
roles by year.
Okay.
So, there were, I think we appointed the number of people who actually applied, and then we were actively looking for that fifth person, but it just never happened.
So there wasn't a content person available for I'm unclear. Was there a first complaint or was there no complaint? We were just forming the only
We
other.
were forming the committee.
So that was
There have been no
there
complaints
have been
under
no
the
complaints.
ordinance.
All right. Well, this sparks us making sure we get that contact person on there, right?
I'll be back at the next meeting.
So,
I do want to note, if I can speak,
Yes.
I mean, there's one person on here that said their term already expired, so I don't know if that needs to be like renewed, or, there might be more than another person that needs to be
Right.
on here, a fifth person. There might only be 3 members currently, that are
right.
not expired.
So it would make sense that they have a meeting. Who schedules the meetings for them?
The administration would.
Okay. Can we schedule a meeting to take care of, can you verify
So
that
there
there's
was
an
a
expert?
request 2 council meetings ago about training for council. I'm in the midst of putting together that request in addition to training for the Human Rights Council.
All right.
Committee.
Can we check on Brent, Mr. Busa, what's your confidence level that there's an expired term?
I'm aware of that. We'll take care of it.
Okay.
All right. I'm looking right at it.
All right. So administration is aware that there's an expired seat on that 5-person council. One of those 4 that's currently on there, that seat has expired, and that that needs to be addressed, and that we need to identify a content specialist as well. And what do you think a turnaround time on that is?
Soon,
Like in the next month?
likely. Yeah.
All right. So likely within the next month, we'll have that. If you would like updates on that, get with me, and we'll figure that out. The next one that I saw, the regular updates and summary of any complaints that are coming to the committee, right? So anything else?
There was the council support.
That's right. The pride parade.
I am happy to serve as like the point of contact for organizing other residents to participate in the parade.
Yeah.
So
It's just having that.
the village has a spot that was paid for by a resident in the parade that allows for 1 vehicle, and then as many people who wish to march can. There are banners that the Inclusive Golf Manor group made last year that would still work this year that are available to use for that. So somebody needs to find a vehicle. And then however we wish to, whether we want to do that through social media or whether you want to put out a call, to use the website.
I see the specific request is to have contact information on the website for any residents that are interested in participating on this, that they know how to connect to other people that are interested.
Yeah.
Is there any objection from anyone on council of making that possible? All right. And the line of communication for funding would be directly with the administrator, given our fiscal officer's vacation right now.
So what I would recommend, we should probably have a motion and a second to advertise the event.
I
So
will
that
make
sounds-
that motion.
Second.
Well, what was the motion exactly? I don't think he was done.
Sorry.
To have contact information provided on the website for anyone interested in participating in the resident-sponsored participation in the Pride Parade, so that people can find one another to participate in that, who want to participate in that.
Okay, let me
Is that
So
your motion?
moved.
order this.
And the second was Mark's. Okay.
So it's Snyder and Marks.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Without objection, I'll take that as unanimous. And did I get every point on there? All right.
I always have questions. If there's not Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlotte.
So Charlotte, we'll stay in contact. We'll figure this out.
Thank you.
All right, I've completed my report. Village administration.
Yay. Road summary. Let's see. I'm gonna turn that off because these are just my notes. Road construction continues on Weehee. They are booking to get concrete poured So I believe the administration building site is going to be under construction next week. So everybody will have to use the north parking lot after this site starts to go under construction. Englewood Canterbury is fairly complete at this point, except for the milling and the laying of the new asphalt. Right now, they're working on the total reconstruction of the southern end of Englewood, which is past Canterbury Avenue. That's a total takeout and restructuring of the road. The Elbert project, water main is complete. They're doing some surfacing stuff, which I'm curious about, because that's all going to come out in a couple of weeks when Elbert gets started with Adlita completing that project. So that is actually slated to begin June 1st. So that time's coming up pretty quickly. We have an opportunity. Ridge Acres is one of the last full concrete streets that has not been renovated in the village. And we've had some concerns because there are some large potholes that are popping up there that need to be taken care of. The concern is that there's enough that we would like to take care of that street before there's more deterioration, so it's not a complete takeout and redo like we've had to do in a couple of other places. So oddly enough, Ridge Acres qualifies for round 3 SORTA funding because it's attached to Langdon Farm, which is a SORTA road. And we can get a 50% grant paid for through SORTA, which would bring a redo of Ridge Acres in at $90,000 or around that amount. So we're going to go ahead and pursue that for 2024-25 round. That's kind of a bonus project that's not in the next 5-year plan, but really it's a huge capital savings for us to be able to get that road taken care of now before it deteriorates any further. Volunteer Park is going to start the improvements on the amphitheater within the next week. In your packet, I included a diagram to let you know what we're looking at in terms of improving the drainage system around this building. We continue to have a problem with rising water around the salt bin, and then the drainage system, which also includes the sewage system out of this building, starts to back up into the old fire department building in one of the closets. They've determined that the sewer line is not big enough, and what we need to do while they're doing the road project is to do an extension to the MSD line into our property. And then that'll be phase 1 of the project. That'll get done before they do the paving of Weehee. And then after that, we will do a complete reconstruct of the north parking lot, which will add 2 2-by-2 foot drains near the maintenance building, and then somewhere over by the salt bin, which will take all of that water that we get as offlow off of the surrounding properties into that. That was engineered by JMA, our consultant, and that's a project that we're going to go ahead and move forward on to first of all get that extension to MSD put in during the road project, and then we're targeting probably end of the year, next summer, somewhere in that time frame, to do the actual reconstruction of the parking area. The north lot, we're not sure what to do, or the south lot rather, we're not sure what to do over here yet. I think it's just a matter of milling it and repaving it, but it seems that there's nothing major that needs to be done on that side of the building at this point. So we'll keep council up to date on what's happening with that project. Other major things that are happening right now is we're going through our liability insurance review with the Ohio plan, which is administered with us through Highland. Don't know what the increase in insurance is going to be. They haven't really given us a percentage yet, but we did have one major accident this year on our plan, and we're hoping for the best in terms of cost increase. Wanted to make council aware that we are in the midst of doing 2024 tax budget preparation right now when Mr. Pridnock gets back from vacation. He'll be in the thick of it. We will have a proposed tax budget ready for council to review at the next council meeting in June, which at this point will be on Monday, June 26th. Also, we are still in the midst of doing the 2023 Auditor of State review. We have started pulling bank statements and documentation. That will probably conclude sometime at the end of June, end of July time period. There was one other thing that I didn't put in here that we were talking about. Oh, the recycling issue. There is an opportunity for us. We keep finding these opportunities. There's a startup company that does recycling that's located in Camp Washington, and they do recycling of food waste. You might recall there was a company a year or so ago that wanted to do that here in Gulf Manor, and there were lots of issues around labor and using our leaves and smell and all those kinds of things. Well, this is away from here, and what the opportunity is they would like to take the majority of our leaves that we pick up in the fall, which truly will turn this into a green solution for us, because they will use this to sprinkle into their food waste and to make compost. In addition to that, during the year, they also need wood chips. And one of the things that we've been looking into is purchasing a wood chipper so the maintenance crew has a more effective way of dealing with branches and yard waste and those kinds of things. Turns out that to make this happen, Hamilton County is interested in getting us a wood chipper that would have no strings attached to it. So we're working with the representative at Hamilton County Resource to try and make that happen. So we should know sometime over the summer whether or not we'll get that wood chipper. And we've made an agreement to sit down with this company the 1st of August and talk about the logistics of making this leaf thing happen. The plus to this for us, it's closer. It puts us in a position where we can probably expand our service in addition to defraying the cost of having to pay to dump the leaves. So we spend several $1,000s every fall to dump the leaves. They would take our leaves for free, essentially.
Would we still have to deliver it to them?
We would have to take it to them, but it's closer than where we're currently taking
Right.
it. So the turnaround time on the truck being out is going to improve.
Nice.
So this can be a win-win for us all the way around. The nice thing about it is the village we have a reputation for doing well on these kinds of things, and they sought us out for this project. So it's a good thing, really good thing. And
Sorry, would Christmas trees be eligible for chipping? Can they put that in there?
that's a
too?
good question.
Yeah,
I would,
I would think so.
yeah,
Sure
there's an
thing.
answer on that. I think that would be yeah, but not the, I don't think, with the compost, it might be an issue with the.
I don't know. That's a good question.
But chipping it certainly, yeah.
If you have a chipper.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah, you got
well,
anything in there.
here's, so we found something out while we were having this discussion. So in order to take some of the pressure off the maintenance crew and picking up leaves, we included Rumpke picking up leaves in bags on Mondays for an 8-week period in the fall. What Hamilton County has reported to us is that those leaves do not get recycled, which is what we thought was happening. They actually dump them and use them to, well, they sprinkle their dump with the leaves essentially. So when you're looking at this as being a greener alternative to the environment, this composting idea is a better idea than sending stuff to Rumpke. So if indeed we can get this going and make this work, I think we want to go back and revisit the whole recycling thing with Rumpke at that point. So something to think about.
Yeah.
I was disappointed to hear that because my thought was Rumpke was taking them somewhere where they would live in bliss. And,
No,
It was sold.
there
that way,
was
I
a
think.
law that was repealed that made them separate, but lawn waste, but now it's all single stream again, so.
So the other thing too, in case you hear, since we're talking garbage, the garbage cans on the streets have become a problem. Rumpke's not emptying them.
Mhm.
And every time I pick up the phone the last couple of weeks, somebody's upset about garbage cans. So we've had a pretty stern conversation with Rumpke in the last week about dealing with that issue. So if you see or you hear about complaints, let me know, because we're hitting Rumpke pretty heavily with that at this point. We want that resolved because that's part of our contract. And honestly, our maintenance department does not have the capacity to empty garbage cans. That's why we have Rumpke here. So just so people know that we're aware of the issue. Apparently the Vera and Elbrook has been the issue in the last
Now they're
weekend.
throwing the garbage on the ground
Yeah.
in Dave's yard.
So we think what's happening, we're not sure where all this garbage is coming from. Because there's one can at Fair Oaks in Vera where I know it's been changed, but it's like almost the next day the can's
Yeah.
full again. So we think people are putting their household garbage in the can. We're trying to figure out what's going on there
The one that.
because that needs to stop.
There's also an issue with the one at Botanical on Cedar Brook.
Yeah, that one I
Regularly.
Yeah.
always
There's trash all
full.
around it, sticking out of it.
Well, that whole property there is a problem
Well, that's
for us
the
right now. We're working on
You
that.
can't even
So,
see the garbage, the grass is so.
There's a house there.
so then.
It's on the hill.
So last part of my report here is I was just going to do a quick recap of May stuff. So we've had a great tire event. In fact, the dumpster is over full. Jim was trying to get another dumpster out this afternoon so they can actually move the one that's there. But that event is not supposed to end until Wednesday, and the tires just keep coming. So hopefully all the tires are gone when this is over with.
Are they still picking them up for residents that put them on the street or
No,
not?
the pickup ended today.
Okay.
So,
I
I mean,
put
we're
mine
not
out
gonna
on
be
the
hard.
street today.
They're gonna keep their eyes out.
All right.
You know, as long as the dumpster's here, we'll still get them. We just don't want people to get dependent on thinking
Right.
they can put their tires at the curb. Other things that happened, Soapbox Derby was a great success. Administration appreciates the cooperation of Tiffany's Salon, who allowed us to use their property, and Bicknell HVAC, who allowed us to use their property. So that's also a good cooperative thing with the businesses in the village. DPS was fantastic. They based themselves here yesterday, and I think they had a good time watching the kids while they were doing it. So that was a good thing. The yard sale, I heard of 6 locations that had sales out. I didn't really drive around the village to look.
I didn't really drive around either, no.
So
I don't need more stuff.
I did great.
Did you? My friend got your guitar, just saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
and we opted out. So
Yeah.
for this time, we'll catch it in the fall. But I think a good goal would be to have a spring and a fall yard sale going forward, where we allow people to do that without having to get the permit.
I think there's some misconception on who is advertising for the sales, because some people who had it were disappointed, but they didn't advertise their own sale. So it's more of a, the village isn't doing it on their behalf. They're just not requiring you to get a permit. So I think that perhaps on both ends, better communication on, you still want to post on your own social media or wherever you would normally advertise your yard sale. But maybe if we schedule a regular annual date to have banners available to also help these people promote.
I was thinking I think that's a great idea, and dovetailing with that, if it's possible, that if we give people enough notice about it, that people can, we could say, if you want to have yours advertised on the website, that if you get us an if you submit your information by a certain date, that we could have that up on the website to say, these are the folks that submitted their stuff in time, to say, if you're looking, some folks may be saying, well, where are these places at? And
we
provide like
do
a directory.
Little PDF map that people can click.
So in the
Yeah.
past,
Well,
a resident had made a map.
So all great ideas. capacity.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
and we're talking about fall right now, so there's some
Yeah.
time.
Well, even though there's time, once we get to this, whoever, the map was created by a resident who did that.
Mhm.
We don't have time here to make maps. So if that's something that council would like us to do, it's something that we need to talk about. How do we gain capacity to be able to do these kinds of things
Mhm.
to make that happen? Because we're running the village right now. This is not, doing that kind of stuff is a nice thing to do, but we have to
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
able to do it well.
Won't
So-
our app will have maps too. Instead of doing a map, which is time consuming, maybe we just list the addresses somewhere.
Well, somebody physically has to do
Yeah,
that.
Right,
exactly.
right.
So
I
that's
tried
the-
to create that
That would be
Google
easier.
Doc, but it wasn't very successful. And then I kept pushing back, like, I'll have it Saturday. Oh wait, I'll have it Sunday. Oh wait, I'm not having one. So, but I think it was maybe Charlotte and I and Sharon were the three that
So,
filled
so
it
the
out.
goal here for everybody is there's a lot of great ideas. We just need to figure out how to make them work.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
let's see. I think that's all that stuff. So upcoming June 16th, the second annual Juneteenth event, 4 to 9 p.m. in Volunteer Park. July 4th, parade and picnic. Started having conversations with Mr. Fisher about the picnic piece of it. We Thrive Yoga in the Park will commence in June through September on select, and I've got on here select Saturdays. I think it's going to be select weekend days. They're talking about getting another instructor now. So I think the banners are going to say weekends, go to the website for specific dates kind of thing. Disappointing news, we did not get the event grant from Hamilton County. They passed. There were, I'm not sure why we weren't notified about that. The person who was coordinating that left the county, and I had to do some digging and making some phone calls to try and find out what happened with that. Where that leaves us is, I believe, Mr. Pridnoff and I can figure out how to fund Juneteenth and the 4th of July. The concert is half paid for at this point anyway. What we will ditch is the December event that we were planning on, but Captain Reed has offered that we take a look through our outreach money with the DEA fund, that we would be able to do our fireworks event with the concert. So, so we're starting to look into that at this point too. I've already talked to Cincinnati Circus about doing a performance the night of the concert over in the park like we did last time. So all that stuff's going on right now. And you had a question?
I did. I was going to ask about the dumpsters. Will the dumpster be there like it was listed on the website just for general after sale
Yeah,
dumping?
it's there until tomorrow.
Okay, so it's not just for tires still.
Now there's one for yard sale stuff and there's one for tires.
Okay.
There's not much in that either, because my sister and I put a big board in there today and it went bang.
Good to know. I know what I'm doing after I leave.
Make sure
There's
you
plenty
don't
of
put
room.
tires in the general refuge dumpster.
Okay.
Right, the service has a dog and you kill them if you do. So,
Yeah. The
Those
true
will be
meaning of dumpster
recycled, won't
diving.
they? The tires are going to recycle, right?
yes.
Correct, yes. And then finally, Memorial Day, we're at the beginning of summer, my favorite time of the year. So just a reminder, village offices will be closed on Monday, May 29th. Police department will be here serving the community as usual, and we appreciate that service from everybody. So again, and I should mention Lieutenant Forrest yesterday was out running the radar gun with the soapbox derby folks. So that was really fun. And I don't know if you saw, we got great coverage on Local 12, Channel 5. There was a story on Channel 9. I don't know if 19 came out or not. But,
3 stations, but I can't remember.
but we had some very good press on the village during that event. So it was nice to see. That's it.
Great. Concerning the road work stuff, there's been like if you're on one of those streets, if you're a resident, so I'm speaking to residents that live on these streets where the work is being done. If you have a complaint, we do receive those, and there's no need to be communicating how upset you are when you're communicating your complaint. We are collecting those, and there is a period of time where we address the contractors with that. So certainly send your concerns about damage that's been done to your driveway or whatever it may be to the administration, but just you don't need to leave a yelling one in order to get a response. Really, we're clear on that. I've had my own complaints about it and everything, so, and I didn't have to yell.
But I've also heard from residents that when they talk to the contractors are very, very accepting of what happened was wrong. And
Right.
making a big splash.
Yeah, that's been my
And they're
experience.
resolving things, so.
That's been my experience as well, and to the extent that they were able to address things right there on the scene, they have. I know that, yeah, so.
So one of the reasons we're using JMA as our engineer is they have a project manager who knows the village, who works with us and everything. In fact, the guy who's doing this now worked on Vera. And Tom is there every day watching what goes on and making sure that the contractors are following specifications that are laid out in the contract. So that's been a huge help. That's how the issue at a couple houses on Canterbury got taken care of. I'm cautiously watching how they handle the covering of concrete over outlets where you have to open up to get the pipes and stuff, because I think Adlita has been much more detailed about it than Rack and Blower, and I'm going to point that out to them if it's the right time. But a lot of people are like, oh, the driveway's too high, my car's gonna drag, and it's like, it'll be fine when it's over with. There's 6 more inches of concrete or asphalt that gets laid down between now and when the project's done. It's just bumpy right now because we really, it's a good thing we put these new curbs in, because these are gonna last another 20 or 30 years. We'll be long gone before this needs to be done again, so.
I know this was in the,
Sorry.
I know this was in the.
I'll be long gone.
You'll be long gone. Sorry, Brian, Ashley, and Danny.
Well,
Bye-bye.
maybe Brian might still be here.
He'll be gone.
I know it was in the council packet, but your announcement about the cover for the stage, I'm wondering if you can put that up there, because that's pretty exciting, so we can show, can you put it up on the screen? That,
The
cover
sale?
for the sale.
Yeah, I don't have that in a format that we can do that tonight. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I would ask if anyone has not looked at that to go ahead and take a look at it. I know that there's, that it's quite impressive. Covers quite a bit of space. It's much larger than what I was thinking when I heard of the funding for it. So anyway, all right. End of report.
That's it.
Okay. Is it Captain Reed?
My turn?
Fiscal officer report. Sorry.
So I'm going to refer everybody back to council minutes. But suffice it to say, we are well in good financial standing, although we do need a motion to accept the financial report and a second.
Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the financial report for April 2023.
Second.
Has everyone had an opportunity to take a look at that? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Without objection, I'll take that as unanimous. End of report?
That's it.
Okay. Sorry, Captain Reed.
I got nothing for you, really. No.
Oh,
All that registered disappointment.
You know, right? PD's operational, fully staffed, all equipment has been returned and is in service. That's it. I gave you all my glitz and glory at the last meeting. I thought we only had one this month. We just ask that residents keep using their exterior lighting. Watch out for each other. We strongly encourage the use of cameras. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We can recommend the best cameras and even help you do some site surveys of where you should deploy them. They are instrumental in helping with thefts and everything that we have going on. The car thefts, again, we're not exempt from nationwide epidemic there.
Watch out for each other, use the key locks. We have steering wheel locks here on station that we'll gladly give out. If you need us, call us, we're here for you. If you see something, please say something.
Have you found a grand marshal yet? Do you have anybody in mind?
I don't choose a grand marshal.
Oh, you don't?
No.
It needs
No.
to be James.
I just acquired the
Well, I
vehicle.
talked to him today. He's probably not gonna be
What?
available.
Oh.
I know.
He doesn't want to walk the streets for free.
I know.
So the way the grand marshal for the parade used to work is the recreation commission would nominate
Yeah.
them and then vote. Since that hasn't happened, since we don't have a recreation commission,
Okay.
I think the best way to deal with that is probably for council to do that. Who did it last year? Did we not have,
I think
No, we have
Chief
one.
Campbell was the grand marshal.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Chief Campbell.
was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because I asked Jim as our former fire chief if he would do it, and he's not gonna be in town. I think he don't want to do it. But
I usually get a Mustang.
I believe last year was, the notion was
First responders.
like the first responders.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
first,
it.
okay,
Oh,
so anyway, we don't have to decide about that here, but at the
Yeah.
next council meeting,
Think
we
about it.
really kind of need to have that nailed down.
we'll just keep bugging.
Do they have to be someone who has to walk, be able to walk?
No,
No,
we
I
get a
usually get a
vehicle.
car from Woody Sander Ford and the driver,
Okay.
so they can sit and wave like kind of thing.
About Billy,
Point the letters.
Ooh, I like
No.
that.
Billy
I like that.
Simpson.
Yeah.
She's still here.
I know she can be the grand marshal.
I know.
So we can talk about
Okay.
it offline.
People have been asking about her.
People don't know. Haven't seen her.
No, nobody's seen her.
Captain, can you,
She didn't even
and I'm sorry to put you on the spot here, but can you give us a quick update on what's happening with the vehicles at this point?
So my vehicle is in, it's white, don't be surprised. We will be selling one of our Dodge Durangos and the Avenger that we acquired last year. I don't know when, aiming for July to move that. And then with the administration's approval, we are probably going to look into a grant that would allow us to purchase another vehicle that will be used specifically for traffic enforcement and for the STEP program. And that will also be some reimbursement grant money available as well. That's kind
So
of-
that would cover a vehicle and a person.
Yes, and potentially equipment. So it's a pretty generous grant, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Solicitor report.
Thank you. There are 4 pieces of legislation in front of you this evening. First regards the update of the solid waste management plan, which has been conducted by the county. They are simply looking for approval of the plan by the various villages and cities throughout the county. I made copies of their highlights and distributed them. And I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them or if you
So this is the same document that was in your packet
Right.
as the update summary?
so perhaps you looked at it there, I don't know.
Is there anything why we would not support this? It's a resolution.
Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just approving their plan. And again, I mean, I read it, but I don't know what you would object to or what you would strongly support unless you're an expert on solid waste.
So you need a.
Just a motion to read by title only, yes,
Motion
sir.
to read by title only.
Okay.
Okay, now don't go too fast on these because I have to record all
Oh, that's
this.
right.
So,
Got it.
Yeah, very-
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those in favor of reading by title only?
All
I,
right.
Slowly though, so.
Without objection, I take that as unanimous.
Resolution number 2023-11. A resolution approving the update of the solid waste management plan of the Hamilton County Solid Waste Management District.
I'll make a motion.
They would like it as an emergency as well, so we'd have to move
Suspend.
to, no, we don't even need to spend anything.
Oh,
You just need to do a roll call vote and have 5 votes. You need to do a roll call on all of them, we need 5
Okay.
votes.
so motion to approve as emergency by Ms. Cheney.
yeah.
Second.
There's a second by Mr. Marks. I have a question. I'm thinking it's not connected to this, but it may be. I know that we get a notification, or at least I get a notification when there's requests for variances, basically on a county level or on a for our local like emissions kind of things. When there's been either well, I'm thinking it's when there's been an accident of some sort, and they need to they need to amend, kind of like with finances, if you got to kind of amend your finances as you go along, that that you have to make adjustments like that as you go along with plans like this as well. But I'm thinking it's more of an EPA thing. This isn't.
I think
EPA,
that's correct.
right?
This is
Yeah.
not EPA.
Right.
This isn't-
So even though it's talking about solid waste, it's not EPA.
Oh, no,
Right.
no.
We have a motion.
Is there any other discussion on this?
So I need to read it. I need to read it first.
Okay.
You vote, did
Right.
we get 5 votes? Okay. Resolution number 2023-11, a resolution approving the update of the solid waste management. Oh, I did read it already. didn't I?
Yes.
See, that just kicked
Read the title.
in.
We
Kicked
did
in
not.
midway through that I
Now we
read
have a
this.
motion for an emergency.
I read this somewhere
Aluminum
before.
cans.
Yeah.
Aluminum cans. Creates all smile.
Mr. Fisher, did you have a question? I heard you saying something over there.
Yeah, I want to know if this has anything to do with money.
Yeah, are we paying more this year for this or not?
No.
No, okay. All right. So it's not an EPA thing and it's not a financial thing.
So
It's just a thing.
It's a state law requirement thing that the county has to update this every so often.
Okay, and what is its spectrum of influence?
The county.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, the what is it that it's doing? It's a solid
well-
waste plan update, but so
Right.
do we have a summary in general of
I,
what this
Like a
plan
summary,
does?
just In general, of the changes.
This is.
Yeah.
Old
that's
versus-
the summary. I didn't
Was it
memorize
probably
it,
the
but
last 2 pages cover that?
yeah.
Okay.
It's 2 pages. Additional action items are broken down into business assistance, environmental enforcement, grants, DEI, which is for diversity, equality, and inclusion. So those are the 4 areas of additional items. Looks like under business assistance, they're increasing the budget from 145,000 to 220,000. They're conducting targeted outreach to commercial waste generators, providing technical assistance and supplies to Hamilton County business, evaluating feasibility of awarding franchise agreements for recycling, working for local government to update zoning. Under environmental enforcement, they're going to continue to fund their full-time sheriff deputy to investigate illegal dumping, work with townships to mandate trash collection, collaborate with Keep Ohio Beautiful to provide illegal dumping training for communities, health departments, and police departments. Continue to provide $295,000 to Hamilton County Public Health, $72,000 to Cincinnati Health Department. Under grants,
You're planning to read this in fact document?
there's 4 more things I'm going to say. These are the changes from last year to this year. Maintain residential recycling initiatives for funding communities. So that's all staying the same, allowing communities to receive funds for commercial tonnage. Funding of $5,000 per community, a minimum funding threshold. Fund innovative waste reduction initiatives, recycling programs. For diversity, equality, and inclusion, Hamilton County is the first county in the state of Ohio to incorporate this kind of analysis into a solid waste plan. They're reviewing current and future programming to identify areas of improvement, and they're incorporated full text of the report into the solid waste plan update and adopted 5 central goals with regard to diversity, equality, and inclusion. So that is my summary of what all is different. And do we have a roll call vote on this? Is that what's required?
Yes, sir. Ms. Cheney,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yeah.
Mr. Knipp,
Yes.
Mr. Marks,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Van Haar is absent.
Thank you.
Motion passes.
The next is resolution number 2023-12. Unfortunately, when we did our levy resolution, levying the 7 renewal mill levy, that was incorrect. We did that at the last meeting, so we need to rescind resolution number 2023-12, and then in 2023-13, we will be passing the appropriate levy.
Motion to read 2023-12 by title
Title
only.
only, yes, sir.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 2023-12, resolution rescinding resolution number 2023-9, a resolution regarding levying a tax in excess of 10 mil limitation equal to 7.0 renewal mills.
All right, so the discussion on it, do you want to speak to that, Mr. Hurd?
I reported in Finance Committee that we had requested a schedule of levies and when they were due from the county auditor. We got a report that we apparently read wrong, and it was interesting. We turned the 7 mil levy stuff in, and they came back and said, hey, it's only 2 mils. So good news is it's not 7, it's 2. Bad news is we were hoping to kill off the 2 mil the next time it came up, but we're not in a position to do that. The next 2 mil levy comes up in 2026. At that point in time, we should be in a position to look at whether or not to defund that levy or not. So this is actually about $80,000 in revenue that we do need to make the books balance.
So, really good news for our residents, right?
Yeah, there's no increase. It's just a renewal.
Right. This one is rescinding the previous resolution.
Correct.
So I just need a motion to pass that. at this
Motion to
point.
pass 2023-12.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Cheney,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Knapp,
Yes.
Mr. Marks,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes.
The next resolution is the resolution that is going to substitute for that one. This is a 2 mil levy for 5 years. It is, again, a renewal levy, which means that it does not increase taxes. It's based on the taxes when this original 10 mil levy, it's based on property values when the original 10 mil, or 2 mil levy was put in place.
Motion to read by title only.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution number 2023-13, a resolution declaring the necessity of levying a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation equal to 2.0 renewal mills and requesting the county auditor to certify matters in connection therewith and declaring an emergency.
Motion to pass.
Motion to pass as an emergency.
Motion to pass as an emergency.
All right. Any discussion? Give a summary.
I think that's all.
Any questions? All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Cheney,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Knapp,
Yes.
Mr. Marks,
Yes.
Ms. Snyder.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Motion passes.
The last is resolution number 2023-14, regards your health insurance coverage for village employees.
Is there a motion to read by title only?
That's what I need
Motion to
first.
read by title.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution number 2023-14, a resolution providing contract with United Healthcare to provide health insurance coverage for village employees through the Center for Local Government Benefits Pool. The insurance has increased somewhat, right, Mr. Hurth? It was 190.
So our association, I think I may have reported part of this at the last council meeting. Our association with the Center for Local Government has paid off. We had 2 years with them with no increase in healthcare. With the volatility in the market, we're looking at a 10 to 15% increase, but the plan through the Center for Local Government Benefits Plan is funded enough that they were able to reduce it to a 7% increase for us. So the way we run that plan is And I think this is one of the benefits of working at Gulf Manor. We still continue to support 92% of our healthcare costs for our employees. So our employees are only paying 8%. That's under the high deductible healthcare plan. People have the ability to choose a PPO plan. With the HDHC plan, we offer an HSA that is quarterly matched up to $250 per quarter by the village to employee contributions up to that max amount. Under the PPO plan, the deductibles tend to be lower, but the out-of-pocket up front is higher. It's a more stable plan for people who have health issues or who might be older. Most communities do offer the high deductible plan and a PPO